Hey, Dog Steer Luke here. In today's video we're going over the repair on my Audi A4. So, some of you may have seen in a few videos back that quite a bit of damage was done to the side of my A4, and I have no idea exactly what happened to it. I suspect it was a bin wagon went down the side, as I initially stated in my last video, and thanks to everyone who commented on that video saying I can get footage from the council. Unfortunately I wasn't able to get footage from the council. I went through all the different tapes and hoops they made me go through and nothing ever came from it. Maybe because it wasn't my council, it was somewhere else in the country and they may just thought they can delay me enough, which they have. But other people also said that it looked like the car had been in motion once it got damaged due to the damage on the wheel. And to be honest, I do agree with you that it does look like the front wheel was spinning at the time. Now I didn't have the keys on me that night, I didn't take them with me, so leave it open to interpretation. I'm not going to go around accusing people. I'm not going to say it's this or say it's that because I have no idea. The fact of the matter is, I'm never going to get to the bottom of it, so I just need to get on with the repair on the car, which is mega frustrating because I did spend a lot of time getting the car up to a good standard. And if this was a car that was worth 5 or 10 grand, I would be really furious. But thankfully, this was a cheap car, and because it was a cheap car, it was also quite cheap to fix. Now, it wasn't worth me going to the insurance company to get this repaired because the insurance premiums would be more than the cost of repairing it myself. So I sourced some parts from breakers yards, and over the last few weeks I've just been putting them on the car and repairing it. Before we get into the video, I just want to talk to you about today's sponsor, which is me. That's right, go and check out my new channel in the description below. And firstly, thank you to everyone who subscribed to it on the last channel. I've got over 400 subscribers already and I don't have a single video on there, so that is very, very humbling, so thank you very much. That's a great start to the channel. I'll be putting the first video up alongside this one, so go and check out now, which is just basically what the new channel is about. But in short, it's a lifestyle channel, deals with personal issues, deals with some of my life, and hopefully we can kind of build a community on there to help one another out. So go and check out if you want, and I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already and you want to see it, just hit the subscribe button on the link in the description below. But back onto the A4 repair. I kind of want to go through this just one panel at a time. So let's start off with the rear door, because that was the first panel I replaced and also the easiest. I went to pick this up a while ago from a local salvage yard. It was £40 and that was a very, very easy panel to replace. It was very simple to remove off the car, so it was just a couple of bolts on the doors, unclip the wiring harness, pull the old one off, stick the old one on, and it pretty much lined itself up perfectly. Now I didn't film this because I thought I was going to get the hang of stuff on this back door and then just film the front door going on so it's nice and smooth for the camera. That didn't quite work out, which I'll get to in a second. But the back door was very straight, but I didn't catch the damage on it when I picked it up. Because it was dirty, it was rainy outside, and I just didn't see the damage to the paintwork on the door. If you look at it in this light, it's actually got like a gold tint to it, and you can feel that this raised rough bits of the paint. So I've got the feeling that the door has been painted at some point in the past, because the car's not meant to have any gold tint to the paint. It's meant to be a very pure silver without any gold to it, and you can see the middle of the door where the paint seems damaged has the gold tint to it. Now I never seen this when it was against the old door on the front because it was all mangled and it wasn't panel to panel, so you didn't quite see the colour transition the same way. But it is very apparent at the moment that the back door is wrong, and unfortunately I think that's going to need to be replaced sometime in the near future. Now onto the front door, which was the one I was going to film sticking on the car. Now I had to go all the way down to Manchester to get that door, but it was a good door and it was worth getting for £65. When I got there, I made a fatal mistake with the door, in the fact that it wouldn't fit in the car for me to transport back to Liverpool. I opened the boot, put the seats down just like the back door was, but the front door was just a bit bigger and there was no way that was going into the car. And thankfully, there was a body shop next door which agreed to stick on the car for £20 there and then, which seems quite reasonable, especially considering it was pissing down with rain and the guy was lying on his back outside. And I probably wouldn't have done that for £20, so for them to do it there and then on demand, I was really appreciative of that, because I would have been up shit creek because I've had this door with no way of getting it back home. Now the door went on absolutely fine. They took the old door off, had to remove the old hinges because the new door didn't come with the hinges, and it went straight back on the car. There was actually no structural damage behind the old door, which is really good to see. It lined up pretty perfectly with the back door. They did have to cut the old mirror off, so the wires got cut, but the old mirror was pretty much knackered. It was smashed to bits and barely worked. I bolted it back on the car just to take it home, but I did need to get a new mirror for it, which I ordered off eBay. All in all, it was £65 for the door, £20 for fitting, and probably another £20 of fuel, so we're looking just over £100 to get the front door on the car, which is still fairly reasonable. Then onto the mirror, which I had to order off eBay, which was £20 delivered. Again, not a bad price considering it's electric and heated, and that went on very easy, especially with the door card off. It was just a case of unbolting the broken mirror from the door, sticking the new mirror on, and feeding the wire down the back channels of the door, taking the speaker out and clipping the wiring harness into the control box on the door. Once that was on, everything worked absolutely fine from the electric mirror switch. That was a nice, easy job to do, and with that done, it was just time to put the door card back on, and everything worked absolutely fine. Everything lined up really nicely, so I was very happy that there didn't seem to be any lasting damage from the accident behind the two doors. Now onto the wing. That was actually the first part I had before I did anything else to the car. In fact, I had it before the accident. I got this sent to me because if you look on some of the old detailing videos, there's damage to the outside of the wing before the accident, just rust coming through on both sides. So one of the things when I bought the car, I knew I had to go and replace the two front wings at some point, so it wasn't really an issue from a cost perspective that I got damaged in an accident, because it would have had to be replaced in the very near future anyway. In fact, I've already had to do it to the driver's side, which was worse. The wing I bought got damaged in transit on the way. Royal Mail looked like they'd thrown something on top of it, and the top edge near the A-pillar had bent completely back, broken all the paint. Now I got in touch with the seller and said, look, this has happened, it wasn't packaged that well, Royal Mail have been rough with it, what can be done about it? And they said, you know what, just keep the money, keep the wing, we'll just give you a refund. I'm guessing they claimed on the postal insurance for that. So the wing was bent back, resprayed with an aerosol. The colour match is slightly off, but overall it's still a tidy wing and it looks pretty good on the car. But the fact it cost nothing now was a pretty good bonus, all things considered. The reason I didn't stick the wing on before was I wanted to make sure the doors fitted on before I did the wing, because from doing a driver's wing previously, I know it's a pretty hard job on the A4s to change the wings, where the doors are quite easy. So I wanted to make sure the doors lined up first, and I could then start playing with the wing against the door that hadn't been damaged. Because I don't want to be taking all the bumpers off and all that again to actually start adjusting the wing to fit the door. To actually fit the wing, I had to remove quite a bit of parts of the car around it. So I had to remove the wheel arch lining, the side skirts, stuff around the washer bottle. I had to remove the front bumper, or at least pull it back, remove the headlights, and then take out a load of bolts along the top of the wing, the front, bottom and back. Overall, it's a good morning's work to change the wing on them. They're not the easiest jobs to do, but the old wing came off as it should. It wasn't easy, but there was nothing complicated that shouldn't have been there. And thankfully, once I pulled the wing off, again, it looked like nothing had shifted behind the wing, and I think the wheel had taken more of the impact than the actual structure of the car, which was, out of the lesser of two evils, the one I would prefer. The new wing went on pretty well. There was a bit of adjustment I needed. It was like kind of I got it loosely on, and then it was a case of backing bolts off and tightening the back up and moving things around and just rejigging it until it fitted to the best it could do. And I do suspect that the wing had also got a bit bent in transit lower down, like a smooth bend rather than a crease you would see. So it made it a little bit harder to try and get it curved to the door properly. Overall, I think I got about 90% of the way there in the end, and all things considered, I'm pretty happy with how the front of the car looks now. The wing's not perfect by any means, but considering the age of the car, it still looks solid again, and it will do, considering that it's not worth spending more money and time getting the car that extra few percent better on the front. Finally, there was the wheel to address. The back wheel has a slight scuff on it. That was the one wheel I didn't refurbish on the car, so again, it's one of those things I'm not really too bothered about because I was going to get refurbished in the future, and there's no major damage, it's just a little bit of scuff to the face. The front wheel is a lot worse off, it does look quite mangled. From a structural standpoint, it's still good, there's no damage on the structure of the wheel, it's just it looks messy. Now, I don't know what to do with that wheel. I don't know where to get like all smoothed out and I'll fill it and then get it sprayed, or just go and use that as a spare wheel and boost the car and buy an identical wheel with a new tyre for the front. Because I don't have that, I have a different spare wheel in the back at the moment, so it'd be nice to have a matching set of 5 alloys as a spare. I'm just going to see what comes up on eBay over the next couple of months. If I get a cheap wheel, I will do it that way, otherwise I will just get this one repaired and sprayed. So my final thoughts on the car. Well, I'm pretty happy with how much it's cost. All in, with all the fuel, taking into account what it will cost for a new wheel or to get the wheel refurbished, we're looking £250 for everything. Which, considering the extent of the damage to the side of the car, I don't think is too bad. Now, the car is never going to be as good as it was before. For me to get to that standard, the side of the car would need to be resprayed, which is going to cost about £500 from a good painter. If I just give it to someone who's not that good at painting, the car's going to look no better than it does now. To me, the best course of action now is just to go and replace the back door again with another one. I paid £40 for it, I could probably still sell it for £40, so it's worth buying one that has cost a little bit more money and get one with a bit better colour match, and the car will look 90% as good as it did before. It's just not worth spending upwards of £500, well, to be honest, if you sprayed it plus the cost of the panels, you're looking £750 at least to repair the car. I only paid £750 for the car, so it's not worth spending its value repairing it again. £250 is quite stomachable, I can put up with that. For an old daily driver, it still looks tidier than most 2006 A4 on the road. And that is pretty much what the repair came down to. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and hopefully with the new videos coming forward, again, it's a bit more detail and a bit more modification back to the normal stuff. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon. But until next time, see you soon, Happy New Year, and take care.